Silver. Today is Wednesday, February 1st, 2017. This is episode 18. I think I'm going to call this one Yummies after the segment by the Geeky Girls. I just wanted to say a very quick hello to any new viewers. Thank you for joining me for the first time. Thank you for giving me a shot. Also, welcome to the new kids on the Ravelry board. Join in to our conversations. I don't bite, I promise. I'd love to hear from you and have any questions or suggestions or anything like that. And to welcome back to all those that have checked out my podcast before. I really do appreciate you coming back time after time to listen. I think that January was just about as busy as December, if not more. I have a lot to talk about. So I should probably get started. So grab your drink of choice. Today I'm actually drinking a chocolate, well, actually a white chocolate brownie coffee from San Marcos. Oh, so good. Anyway, just so grab your drink of choice, your knitting, and away we go. First off, I'm going to be talking a little bit about our KALs, a little bit of an administrative, and some general chit chat. So here we go. For the first KAL that I actually am concerned with, actually is the major one going on right now, is our Java along. So for a little bit of details, it's just going to be a KAL premiering all the wonderful patterns of CC Alman, aka JavaPurl, designs there on Ravelry. It's going to go for the entire year of 2017. Any project you knit, weave, crochet, or spin that has anything to do with our or is inspired by the Geeky Girls, or in general is one of JavaPurl's designs, it won't be hard to convince me. Trust me. Whips are allowed as long as you actually finish them by the end of 2017. Just feel free to polydip in any other KALs as long as it fits in with their rules as well. Each project you finish and post counts as one entry into the giveaway. You also must be a member of the Silver's Dream On podcast group on Ravelry to participate. Please just post any and all photos on social medias using the hashtag SDL Java along so that I can follow your whips and FOs. Who knows? You actually may be entered in a drawing for random act of patterning days. So let's talk prizes. I'm actually going to be giving away one JavaPurl design pattern every month during the course of the KAL to get your collection started. CC has even donated several to actually give away as well. Since we didn't have anyone that posted any FOs this past month, I actually have included all the group members in a random number generator, and we do have a winner in that case. So the number 2, Aspen, ASPEN, there on Ravelry. Please PM me with which JavaPurl design you would like, and I will gift it to you as soon as I see that. I will also be giving away a digital copy of CC's Coffee with CC book. All you need to do is be a member of the group and comment in this episode thread with which pattern of the book you would knit first. I will be using the random number generator to select the winner before I record in March. So be sure to enter. Throughout the course of this, will also be giving away a physical copy of Cece's new book, Coffee with Cece, and Dammy too. As soon as the book releases, the winners will be pulled from the FO thread only. So make sure you get your FOs in, and just be aware the cover that you're seeing is not the official title of that book yet. It will be coming out soonly. So keep an eye out for that as well. I think I'm going to do that random number generator about a month, I'd say about 2 weeks or so after the book itself comes out, and I will be giving you an update on that. So if you do have any other crafty items you'd like to donate as prizes, please PM me on Ravelry. I am SilverLuna2112, or you can email me directly at silversdreamlandpodcast@gmail.com. There I've actually created a pattern bundle there on our group thread there with a list of all of CC's wonderful patterns. You can definitely check them out and see which ones you would like to do. They are all equally awesome in their own right. So Just a bit of administrative. I do need to apologize to the prize winners of the Silver's Whip Down KAL. I actually have not gotten around to posted everything yet. It seems like every time I have a day off, I've either been really sick with some kind of stomach bug or it's actually been snowing. However, once the packages are officially on their way, I will be PMing each of you on Ravelry with the tracking number, so that way you can track the package. That's going to be a little added bonus because it's my fault for waiting for so long. Once again, it's been a busy month, and I'm so sorry about that. All right, so couple pieces of general chit chat this week. For those that follow my adventures in reading and writing, a lot more than the knitting side, and you know who you are. I have actually put up several blog posts over the past couple weeks with my reading goals and reviews of books that I've been reading. You can find those directly at www.dreamysilver2112.com, and that way you can go ahead and if you would like to, you can follow me there too. Um, the second thing I'm going to mention is that I found out the day for the Worldwide Knitting in Public Day is actually going to be the 10th of June. For all details of where to find an event in your area, please visit their website at www.wwkipday.com. So it stands for Worldwide Knitting in Public Day. You can actually join one that's already in progress, or you can even choose to host one. You can always do that as well. All right, let's move on to my favorite things. So, the first thing I'm going to mention is family time. My family dinners tend to be pretty awesome. Since the Valentine's Day rush is starting up soon at work, where I'm probably going to be working quite a bit in a week and a half span, I've decided that I need to spend as much time with my family as possible prior to it. I know I will be missing them in, in that time frame that I'm going to be working. Plus, they're also a hoot. I heard somewhere that laughing often is good for your complexion and health. Or is that just me? The second thing I am very appreciative is time with friends. A few weeks ago, MDI and I got to hang out with our friends, the Mercury's and Zelda and Lag.com at her family's home in upper state New York. We had so much fun with them over those 4 days. There was a lot of video gaming, a lot of food that we ate, and a lot of knitting that had to be done, or that was done rather. It didn't have to be done, but you know me and sitting still, right? It was just a very much needed vacation. Very much grammar. It was a good vacation that I needed. I'm actually used to working a lot during the weekends, so having a day off during the weekend doesn't happen very often. So I just needed it. So thank you to Mercury and Mercury family for hosting us again this year. We do appreciate you. You guys tend to spoil us, but I think I think we needed that, and we do thank you again for all that. So, the next thing of my favorite things actually is going to be the bulk of this category. The first thing I'm going to mention, it's going to be all of the stuff that I've bought or that's come to the house over the past month. The first shipment was actually a Frostbeard Studios shipment. I bought 3 of their book lovers soy candles. The first one was Sexy Librarian. The next was Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, because, that's how you do. And then the last one was Trashy Romance Novel. I did take a picture of all 3 of these. I've been having problems getting all of my pictures from Instagram directly um, onto my desktop, but that's something that it's a little bit of a technical issue you don't need to worry about. But I do have a picture of it directly on my Instagram feed, which is at Silver's Treats. If you would like to see a picture of all 3, trust me, they smell awesome, and I really highly recommend them. So if you like candles, go with it. Go with it. Trust me, you will be so happy you did. The next thing that did come in the course of this month, I have now four different stories of the classic Doctor Who with William Hartnell in it. I have stories one, two, three, and six. So point of reference, one, two, three, and six are actually the ones that I got started on. I obviously not when they first came out, but they were my first introduction directly on Netflix, and my obsession with Doctor Who has gone from there. The next thing that came in was a shipment from Slipstitch Studios. There are two bags that were in there. There was a large sweater bag that I bought for somebody else, and I have actually already gifted to that person. Um, in fact, I'm such a bad podcaster that I forgot to take a picture of it before I gave it to her. Even as soon as it walked in the door, it got stuffed with all of the yarn that I had also bought for her as well. Um, yeah, it's okay. I forgot to take pictures, and so therefore, duh, no picture. But the second one that came in that same shipment, this little cute little purple sock bag. I've actually already had two different socks in it. In fact, I'm knitting out of it right now as we speak on a pair of socks. The cappuccino socks I'll talk about more later. Um, so there's a lot of that. The next shipment that came in was the Addicted to Sock Knitting shipment. This awesome TARDIS bag. I saw this and I just absolutely had to have it. And limited quantities, and I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. The next thing that actually came in was the No Makers shipment. I ordered this, and within a couple days, it was already on its way, even with all of the weather issues that were in our area and that delayed the shipment. The first thing that came in that shipment was what she calls your pumpkin spice latte. That I pretty much balled up and used right away. Duh. I actually had to physically hand wind it into a ball, because yeah, my skein winder is kind of on the fritz, and I'm a little mad about that. But anywho, I'm just gonna go back to old school, wrapping it up like this, or leaving it in a skein. I can do that too. Speaking of skeins, the second color that came in is called Beast. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I'm looking at it and I cannot get enough of that. It's so beauteous. And then I also did get Dean Winchester. Look at those colors. And because I had to, Sam Winchester. Because, you can't have one brother without the other, right? There was a couple other supernatural themed ones in the shop that I was debating between. I'm like, let's get the brothers first and we'll go and we'll go from there. I think there's a Castiel one and there's also a Crowley one in there as well as several others, but I'll start with these two for right now, right? Yes. The next thing that came in was actually my Desert Vista Dye Works shipment. I did order these back in December and it finally arrived over the past few weeks. But oh my God, so worth the wait. Trust me, when you see them, you'll know why. The first one that came in is called O. Clark. Now, for those that don't know, that is actually a reference to Lois and Clark. It's something, it's one of my pastimes is Superman, and that is definitely one of my favorite quotes from that series. The second one that came in the mail is Dracula. Oh, look at all those colors. It totally looks like vampirish, doesn't it? Anyway, I cannot wait to get started with those. The other one that came in, is called Clue. Now, as you can see, it does come in every color of the characters in both the movie and the game board. And if you know me at all, you know I am obsessed with Clue, especially with a little bit of Tim Curry mixed in there, and I'll say more about that later. But yeah, so each of these is a self-striping yarn, and I cannot wait to get started. I don't know what I'm going to knit out of them, but I can't wait to get started. The next shipment that came in, I had the Lolo Did It shipment that came in. My first time ever ordering from her. Absolutely gorgeous yarns that came in. This arrived on Saturday. And I honestly, like I said, I cannot wait to knit with any of these yarns that came in. The first that you see, you can kind of see alluding to it, but they're all on the either everyday or one of her sock weight yarns. This first one is Princess Peach, because duh, gamer had to have Princess Peach. That makes sense, right? And now the second one, Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh my gosh, you see like all the different colors in there. Oh, so gorgeous. But also, if you know me at all, I'm a Queen fan, like nobody's business. So this was just perfect, and I had to. Um, Speaking of another side of, well, another part of my geeky side, there's also the Polyjuice Potion. And now, if you've never seen the Harry Potter series, that is also probably one of my favorite potions in the entire series, with the Polyjuice Potion and changing to look like other people and that kind of thing as well. But look at those colors. There's purple. I was like, come on, you put purple in anything, you pretty much got me, right? Geeky and purple are my two needed things for me to buy a yarn, right? All right, let's move on to my FOs. And yes, I have a few FOs this week. The first up is I called the Purple Mint Socks. The pattern is Peppermint Mocha Socks by CC Almond. This is the Deadly Nightshade colorway of Pandia's Jewels. I believe that is on her snug base, if I remember correctly. I just didn't write it in my notes. So good job, right, Silver? These were knit directly on a size US 2 to 16-inch circulars, which is usually my method of knitting. The second thing that I did manage to finish this month was also another CC pattern called Strawberries and Cream Frappe. I called this Socolate This. And now here's why. The yarn itself is called Orange You Happy It's Pink, which is on the Socolate base from the Cyberts Craft Room. Basically, I was knitting this in honor of Megan, the dyer, who actually passed away very suddenly over the course of the summer. So, but yeah, so these were knit directly on a US 2 on two 16-inch circular needles. These patterns are absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I still have a little bit of work to like weave in the ends and snip and everything, but yeah, they're I'm calling them good. As soon as the major work is done, I'm calling them good. I'll weave in the ends and end up probably wearing them to work this weekend because we're going to be doing some crazy sock days coming up to due to work. See previous section. The next thing that I did finish are actually a set of 3 hats total for a client that I work with. I'm calling this the Kit Kat hat trick. All right, so the pattern itself that I used was the Kit Kat hat by Andre Sue. I did use three different color yarns. The first 2 hats are the smallest and medium-sized hats of the pattern, both for kids, obviously, under the age of 4. The third one was actually for their mother. That one was 2 different yarns. One was the Red Heart Comfort Sport in the shaded blue colorway, and then it was a denim blue, I believe, for the other one. I did not write that down either, so good job, Silver. Anyway, and so the younger kids did get the remainder of the Cascade 220 Superwash prints in the colorway 90912, which is obviously a pink. I used size 7 16-inch circulars. Oh my gosh, this was such an easy knit, and I had so much fun. Um, the cool thing though too is that I was making these at the same time that the march and everything were going on, so people thought that that was the reason why I was giving to them. But no, I had made her laugh in one of mine a while ago, and she said, "Hey, we need to add them." Um, so The other thing that I managed to finish is under the category project page on Ravelry called the 2017 pile of washcloths. I finished all four for January, and I do plan on doing a one washcloth per week this year. The first one is out of the Lily Sugar and Cream and the Holly Jolly Prince. I did two of them in that same colorway there. The third one that I did was actually an unknown Lily Sugar and Cream colorway. It's actually not even in my Ravelry stash page. It was pretty much an unknown, but the stripy sequence, oh, so gorgeous. And the last one was out of the hippie colorway. Now, the pattern name on that is called the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by Ruth Slate. All of these I'm going to be knitting directly on US 6's, the Marbles 24-inch circulars. I'm not really a fan of washcloths. The driving force behind this was I was trying to get a lot of them done so I could sell them perhaps or even give them as gifts. And since I don't really normally enjoy doing a lot of dishcloths, there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to be working on throughout the course of the year that will take a lot more work and I might need a little bit of instant gratification. So there, I needed easy FOs, right? All right, all right, all right, all right. Yes. What's on my needles? Quite a few things, even new since the last time we've talked, and some that I've obviously been working on for a while. The first thing that I'm actually currently working on as we speak, I am calling the Saturday mornings need espresso ASAP. The pattern is Espresso Macchiato by JavaPurl, aka CC Almond. Sorry, CC. The pattern itself, or sorry, the yarn is called Saturday Morning, which is Lollipop Yarn's beefcake base. Oh, absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot believe how quickly I knit that up. That was probably about 2 hours of work, including the toe, and that was already up to 5 inches. So I put it down for a couple of days and worked on some other things, but it's actually being knit directly on also on a size 2 16-inch circulars. Now, the next one I am calling Winnie the Vanilla Socks. Now, if you notice, they're on a different style of needles. Yes, folks, I gave in. Since it is a KAL all about CC that I'm entering these for, I decided to go with her idea of doing the 9-inch circulars that she usually uses. Obviously, these are a size 2 as opposed to the 1.5 or whatever she uses. But she calls these Zoom Zoom needles, and I can see why. Um, I think I'm always going to want to knit vanilla socks directly on directly on these needles. I think from now on they are going so super fast. That what you see there is actually 5.5, which is more than halfway up my toe already. And all that amount of work was probably done in 3 mornings, if that, of half-hour increments before I got to work. Before I got going to go to work this past weekend. The pattern on that one is another one of Cece's patterns called the French Vanilla Cappuccino Sock. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And you like the yarn, right? It's called Winnie the Pooh. It is a Desert Vista Dye Works on their Viso base. Oh my God, so gorgeous, right? It totally looks like Winnie the Pooh. The only downside that I am seeing to the yarn so far, and this is probably no fault to the dyer whatsoever, the black part of that stripy sequence there, the way that I knit is coming off on my hands. Um, sorry. But it's probably not no fault of the dyer. To be honest, I think it's a lot of because I'm a tight knitter, so I always grip the needles like in a death grip, and then my hands sweat. So yeah, there you go. Um, let's move on. The next thing that I have been working on, I am calling the double the pumpkin spice, double the fun socks. The yarn, I'm sorry, the pattern is another of Cece's patterns called I Love You More Than Pumpkin Spice Socks. I'm doing this directly on a No Maker Spiffy gnome base color called Pumpkin Spice Latte from before. See how it's knitting up already? That is just the toe and the um, setup row. This pattern, the way it's set up, is going to be very cablicious and it looks very pretty. Problem is that I had chose to do this in the middle of all of the Valentine's Day rush. So we'll see if it gets done now or at the end of the month or whenever. But anyway, I am looking forward to getting back to that so much. I'm knitting those directly, like I said before, on a size US 2 to 16-inch circular method. Okay, let me get a quick drink before we go on to the next, because there are a few more still left over. Oh, coffee. Must have, right? All right, so the next thing that I have actually been working on, I am calling the 100-acre razzle. I am currently on row 120, which is about 45% of the shawl as written, and they do give you the percentage and in different versions. What you're doing, the small size, they do a large size gradient, large size stripes. You can definitely customize this shawl. Oh, and I am doing a 5-color gradient by Leading Men Fiber Arts. Wow, tongue twister. On their soliloquy gradient called Razzle number 5. The pattern itself is called 100 Acre Wood by Helena Stewart. Or, sorry, Helen Stewart. Sorry, Helen. Yes. So the way that it is now, I don't know. When you're looking at the picture, can you see where each of the gradient stripes ends and starts? Unless you know what you're looking for, I don't think you can tell. But I am actually on the third color, that gradient. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Here, let me show you a picture real quick of that bottom little eyelet pattern at the bottom there. Oh, and you can see like the lace that's forming in there. Oh, it's so gorgeous. This is on a size US 6 cubic splatina. I have them on the 40-inch circulars. Oh, I love those needles and it's going so fast. Like what you see there is probably about 4 days of work. And, you know, with the sickness in the household, that was probably the only thing that I can handle, right? The next thing that is actually new since the last time that we spoke is the what I'm calling Mermaid Take Two. I haven't gotten very far. The girl wants this by the end of the month too. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. Anyway, the pattern is called the Lady's Mermaid Tail Lapgan Cocoon Blanket by Angie Hartley. I'm also doing this out of the Karen Simplisoft in the grape purple and rosewood colorways. Now, if you're having a sense of deja vu, don't worry, you're not alone. So the client that I'm starting to make this for also had bought the same one for a cousin of her new recipient, which is actually her daughter for her birthday. This one is being done on a size US 11, 29-inch circulars. They're the Susan Bates ones that I've had for a while. All right, so the last thing that I am currently working on, I'm just simply calling the adult sleep sack. Um, it's basically, there's no pattern. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. I wanted an easy blanket pattern that I can just kind of sit in or even wrap around me while I'm sitting on the couch. I basically cast on 150 stitches and after the little ribbing that you see there, I'm just going to be knitting around in circles until I run out of yarn. At the very end, I'm planning on putting kind of like the Lapcan blanket that I mentioned before, a little bit of ribbing at the very bottom to kind of make sure I have a nice even way of tucking my feet in, that kind of thing. As you do, right? The color is the Red Heart Comfort in the apple, purple, and jade colorway. And yes, that's what they called it. But I can see why, right? It definitely is very green, purple, and jade colors. I'm doing this directly on a size US 9 40-inch circs as well. And like I said, that's probably going to be the last thing I finish this year. But I wanted to get it started and to show it off. So at least you know it's there as a work in progress. All right, so I've sort of mentioned this one before, but this is also an older work in progress. I am working more on the pile of washcloths pattern page. It's once again the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by Ruth Slate. What you're seeing there is about a quarter of the next one and the start of February. That's the Bernat cotton candy collection that is called the spicy colorway. Once again on size US 6 marbles 24-inch circulars. The next thing that I have actually been working on, I'm calling Bella Coffee. The pattern is called Coffee Date by CC Almond. Yes, that same lady. I love it. Do you see this gorgeousness? There are three different stitch patterns that get used. No, I lied. Four that get used throughout the course of it, and you repeat it until you run out of yarn. Absolutely love, love, love the way it's turning up. What you're actually seeing is one full rotation of the pattern. I'm hoping to get to three before I run out of yarn, so I have slightly less than what she calls for in the pattern. So um, what I'm using for yarn, I'm using the Plucky Knitter in the Putty in My Hands colorway on their Bella base, the Give a Hoot color on the Plucky single base, and Enchantment on their Primo fingering base. I'm using a size US 3 Chigu 40-inch cables. Oh my god, so good. Like I said, I love this shawl and I cannot wait to get back to it. Now, the next thing that I am working on, I did not get a picture of, mostly because I did maybe 2 rows on the ribbing of the Snapey Love socks that I'm making for FDI. Once again, that pattern is actually the Snape Stockings by Erica Luder out of the Zitron Tracking colorway number 591, which is kind of like a blue and rust colors. Oh, so gorgeous. I'm still working on the size US2 Knitter's Pride Carbons DPNs that I have. Now the next one that I'm working on, the Burning the Blue, I did about 2 pattern rotations on the second section. As you can see, I'll show you a picture of it close up. See, not very much, but it's there. But yeah, I did finish up all the blue, the first blue on that one. The pattern is Ashburn by Melanie Berg. It's my first Melanie Berg pattern, and I love, 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 love this pattern. I'm using Yummy 2 Play by Miss Babs in the Denim Spiras or Spiras? Cypres. I think Cypres is how you're actually supposed to pronounce it based on how it's spelled. And Tardis. Tardish? Yes, Tardish. Wow. Yes, yes, I can read, I promise. I'm using a size US 6 cubic Splatina 30-inch circulars. Absolutely gorgeous. What do you guys think? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm using that word, I think, to label just about everything, but I can't help it. I'm in love. Now, here's another thing that I've also been in love with. This is the Lorelei's Mystery KAL. It's also been known as the Gilmore Girls binge watching KAL. I've actually gotten to the midway through the first section of the little lacy bit at the end, mostly into clue 3. It looks so good. This pattern is called the Lorelei's Mystery KAL by Renegade Knitter. I'm using two different colorways of Shepherd Socks by Lorna's Laces. One is denim and the second one is Laurel Eyes. The lighter color that you're seeing is actually the Laurel Eyes, and the other color is the denim. Oh, so gorgeous. And you can see the little teapot stitch markers where I had started. I had started for the month there. Oh, so gorgeous. Oh. Anyway, that picture that you're seeing there, both pictures actually were taken before I started on the lace section uh, this morning. I'll get back to that after we record, I promise. It's so gorgeous. The next thing that I have been working on, and this is being modeled by Mr. Empty Eye himself. I'm calling this It's So Great and Mint. The pattern is the Chevron Baby Blanket by Espace Trico. I think I am pronouncing that right. No matter how many times I've watched their videos, I can still never pick up the accent. I am so sorry, ladies. I'm using two different colorways of the Lion Brand Vanna's Choice. There is the silver gray, which is the bottom one, and the mint colorway, which is a greenish. Absolutely gorgeous. I think I am about halfway through this blanket. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And it's going so fast on the US 9 Knitter's Pride Cubics that I have. They're the 29 inch circulars. This is going to be for a coworker's baby. And I'm making good progress because she's not due until March, or is it March or April? Who knows? I may be completely wrong. She may not even be due until May. At this point, I don't even know. Because, yeah, I pay attention. And so, yes, the last thing that I do have on my needles currently is the or what I'm calling Simply Aware. I am using, I'll eventually be using three different colors of the Premier Yarns Cotton Fair. I'm using the Cotton Candy colorway, the Bright Peach, and Baby Pink. What you see in the picture is the Baby Pink, and the Bright Peach I will be adding in the Cotton Candy hopefully soonish. My intention is to get through 2 rotations of the pattern each color and just keep rotating out until I run out of yarn. And I want to make this a very, very large wrap if I can. And yes, it'll be great. The pattern is called Lala's Simple Shawl, obviously by Lala. I'm actually using a size 2 40-inch Chaigu Circs. So you know that is 4 needle sizes down from what she calls for in the pattern. So it's going to be taking me a while. That and the combination of cotton yarns I've been taking my time. Let's call it, yeah, I've been taking my time getting that one done. But yeah, anyway, quick drink before I continue here. Thank you. Okay. So the next thing up, it's called the needle adjacent section. It's basically just stuffs stuff that I've been dreaming about doing next. The next thing up, and probably the only thing that I want to cast on for the rest of the year besides socks, is going to be a wedding even star for MTI's new sister-in-law. I'll admit, it isn't just a needle adjacent for me now. It's kind of a frog pond item because I keep trying to get this started, but I haven't quite figured out this cast on. Um, for those in the know who have seen the pattern, it requires a little bit of knowledge of crochet because it does need a crochet hook to help cast on. And if you've ever seen me try to use a crochet hook, you'll know I'm just not good at the correct movements to do it. I don't know. I know I've done this type of cast on before, especially in one of the shawls I made for a swap partner a couple of years ago. But I just can't remember how I did it. I just can't. I literally can't even, as I keep saying. But I think I'll get there. I just have to stick to it, just suck it up and do it, right? So does anyone out there have any suggestions for me? I'd be appreciative of that if you do. I know there's a lot of YouTube videos, and the YouTube videos, they help, cert. a little bit. It's more of a how do I get my hands to work properly to be able to do it. I've been knitting so long that I've lost the ability, I guess, to learn a new skill, I guess, with my hands. So we'll see. But with muscle memory, it should come soonish, right? Anyway, enough about my woes when it comes to that item there. Um, so what you're reading or watching, Silver? Ah, yes. Let's try that again. This section is called What You're Reading and Listening to, Silver. Well, let's start off by saying I'm always listening to music. But this month, I've been listening to a few soundtracks pretty much on repeat. Both the original cast recordings of Rocky Horror Picture Show and the Best of Disney collection that I recently purchased. I don't know why, but there it is. I've also been listening to rock stations directly on my Pandora player, mostly classic 80s rock, to be honest. Um, so yeah, there are several books that I have finished. Bear with me. I'm going to try to categorize them. Those that I have been reading on my Kindle include, well, specifically, mostly smut books that I didn't even bother adding to my Goodreads, but I have been reading. The one that I specifically want to mention is Full Package by Lauren Blakely. The reason for this mostly is because I did enjoy it. It was a quick read, number one, and it was just one of those stories you're like, ah. It kind of reminded me, sort of my early relationship with MTI. We were friends before we were ever together, and that's something that I kind of look for in a good romance story, not even just a smut book, as I tend to listen to or even read in much of my reading time. Um, I also finished several books while listening to them. The first three are all by Kristen Ashley. They are Rock Chick Reckoning, Rock Chick Regret, and Rock Chick Revolution. That in that case does complete that series. There were eight of them all told. I kind of wish there was more. They were so good, and the girls in there are so snarky. Absolutely, absolutely awesome. I love those characters. I'm going to miss them. I'm going to admit I'm going to miss them. Something fierce. Um, these next two, no, next three were all under 6 hours to listen to, but they were awesome. Two of them were Christmas themed because I don't ever listen to Christmas themed books, in the time frame. I don't know why. But anyway, I listened to Trading Christmas by Debbie Macomber. That pretty much was a book that fit her aesthetic. So if you've ever listened to her books, you kind of know what I mean. She has a set what to kind of expect from me type of feel to her books. And she didn't disappoint, trust me. That's not a complaint. That's a compliment. And that's why I keep coming back and reading her books. The second that I listened to, like I said, another Christmas one. It's called The Mistletoe Secret. It was by Richard Paul Evans. To be honest, I did finish this before the end of last year, but not by much. So I'm considering it this month. The third that I read was called The Dispatcher by John Scalzi. It was a very quick read and it was a very cute book. It basically followed the short, I guess, the day in a life of this these people that are called dispatchers. I guess the premise of the book, if you want spoilers, okay, if you haven't read it, essentially what happens is that these guys are licensed by the state if something goes wrong in a surgery or anything like that to go in and essentially kill the patient so that they will wake up in their own beds and be reset for like 24 hours or whatever. Um, Basically, this issue gets him in trouble, and he follows it. basically there's an investigation he's part of, and he ends up dying himself, and he gets a little pissed off that now the shoe is on the other foot kind of thing. But it was still kind of cute. I do recommend listening to it, especially since yeah, Spock, hello, the new Spock reading to you. I mean, come on. uh, he's absolute. I just love listening to his voice, guys. Just it. Sorry, I can wax poetically about his voice for forever, but there's more to go, I promise. What I'm currently reading, actually reading on my Kindle, I'm reading The Shining by Stephen King. It's one of my favorite books. Actually, to be honest, I've only read the book once, but I've watched the movie like, I don't know, like 3 times a year at least. Yeah. So yeah, I need to do it justice and actually read the book. Um, and also there's Doctor Sleep that I want to read right afterward too. Just 'cause apparently there's a sequel. So the second one that I want to read, or that I am currently reading, is Seven Up by Janet Let's try that again. Ivanovich. Yes, I always have trouble with her names. I don't know why. But anyway, it's part of the number series. I have to admit, I just picked it back up. It's been on my currently reading for a while, but I really hadn't been reading it. I'm gonna pass up. I read about a paragraph each time, so now I'm officially reading that. I'm also listening to the complete Sherlock Holmes. I just finished listening to the first story in the collection. My major note in that is I just love how fascinated Watson is with Holmes's smarts. Like he was told that this guy is really smart and that he can deduce things randomly. But like you have to ask Holmes to prove to you how smart you are. Okay then. Okay then. Anyway, now that I've waxed poetically about the books that I've read, what you watching, Silver? Um, this section's gonna be a little bit longer too. I watched a few TV shows, or bits and pieces of TV shows over the past month. Um, I watched story one of Doctor Who. It's titled An Unearthly Child. I absolutely loved this story. Like I said, it got me hooked before, but I cannot wait to continue on with what else I got. Um, Speaking of Doctor Who, I finally watched the Christmas episode of Doctor Who on the 21st. The title is The Return of Dr. Mysterio. Now, a little bit of a spoiler alert. If you have not watched the episode yet, you might want to fast forward a little bit. Um, but yeah, here goes. I absolutely love the concept of the doctor creating a superhero and then taking on that name at the very end. To be honest, I'm still smiling as I talk about it. Like I feel like I have to watch it like 5 more times to kind of understand how the how to of how he became a superhero, but ugh. And the guy that plays the character, ugh, he is a cutie patootie. Like I can see him like having these personal problems with these powers. Like it's amazing. Um, let's see. This month I also rewatched the episode of Glee where they do the Rocky Horror Show. Just because it's pretty much what kind of mood I've been in the past couple weeks. And, when you're listening to the soundtrack, you tend to watch the movie and whatever, right? Yeah, it's just how you do, right? Let's see. I've also ended up watching up to the start of season 6 of Stargate SG-1. I think I have decided to take the Geeky Girls lead and watch the episodes of the Stargate universe pretty much in chronological order. I found their list, so that's the plan anyway, right? It's going to take me a while, but I do plan on doing that. Speaking of the Geeky Girls, I have watched through episode 115 until 200. I did finish episode 200 right before recording today, so whoa. Um, it's quite a bit of episodes, but I'm almost there, guys. I have 27 left. Think I can do it? Yeah, I think so. Let's see. This month, I also caught up with all the podcasts that I watched, including the episode of the Knit Girls, that episode that just went live this morning. So get on that. Trust me, you'll love that episode. um, I even managed to watch the little mini episode that the Knit Girls put up on YouTube as they were getting ready for the live broadcast this past week. Pretty funny. It was a couple minutes, and it ex- kind of explains why they're always laughing in the beginning, but not really. And the way that that video happens is you can imagine how much creative finagling that I have to do to set up as well. Um, there was one movie that I watched this past month. It was the For the Love of Spock documentary by Adam Nimoy on Netflix. So many feels, so many tears. I can't believe I did not know about this documentary ahead of time. Um, Obviously, I don't watch Big Bang Theory, not for lack of it trying, but they had mentioned that in like a lot of detail, I guess, when it had happened, and I just found it. A couple of miscellaneous things that I've watched because they don't really have categories. um, I watched a few of the Beauty and the Beast trailers for the new live action movie. The date set for that is March 17th, and I cannot wait until this movie comes out. I mean, come on, is everyone as excited as I am, or what? I mean, come on, Emma Watson. I mean, and the guy from Downton Abbey. I mean, oh, he is a cutie patootie. And I've seen like the video now of him with all the makeup on, and I'm like, I hardly recognize you, but your voice comes through loud and clear. Oh, if you haven't seen him, just go to YouTube and look for the Beauty and the Beast trailers. Trust me, you will not regret doing that whatsoever. Now, the other miscellaneous thing that I had been watching this past month, if for those that don't know me very well, I'm kind of a video game nerd, as is MDI, but that's fine. Um, I was watching a lot or as much as I could of AGDQ. It stands for Awesome Games Done Quick. It's basically a yearly gaming marathon that I have been a part of in some form or another since it first started. It does feature a bunch of my speedrunner friends and MDI speedrunner friends. Basically, what speedrunners are, they play games really fast. Basically, we just all get together to raise money for charities. Um, we've actually been paired up with the Prevent Cancer Foundation since our second year of doing this. And this year, since I wasn't on campus, I'll say they raised over $2.2 million. Now, I worked a lot of the time that it was happening, but in that week or so, I pretty much spent every spare moment watching these awesome gamers. I'm so amazed by all the work that each and every one of them have put into their games. And even when MTI does his own speed runs every once in a while, I do see how much work it takes and how much dedication you have to be able to play the game over and over and over and over again. And that's pretty much essentially what they do until they can get that going as fast as possible. I don't have the wherewithal to be able to sit there and just continue to play the same game over and over again. I can barely do it the first time, so I give them that props. But then again, I'm a knitter. I like to take, I'll rip things out and, mix it and fix it all the time. But I still don't get the speedrunners sometimes. Basically, to see more uh, details before I go on and on about that, to see more from the event and the next gaming marathon and just a little bit more details, just please go to the https colon backslash backslash gamesdonequick.com. Basically, they'll list off all the different marathons they're having coming up, and they'll give you breakdowns of everything I just talked about, but in better detail, I guess, because my understanding of what it is completely different from all of them guys. But anyway, anyway, I am pretty social. You can actually find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. On Ravelry, I am Silver Luna 2112. On Facebook, I can actually be found at www.facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am both at Silver's Treats and Silver's Dreamland. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. I'm going to let you know, I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to email me directly at silversdreamland@gmail.com. That does come to my phone, so I'll be able to see it really quickly. Now, I've kind of rambled on for long enough. I know your time is valuable. So please feel free to join in any discussion, or you can even start your own on the Ravelry board. I don't bite, I promise. I love to talk, obviously. Until next time, happy crafting!